Nuclear technology is a very controversial issue in today's society. There are both benefits and negative effects of using nuclear technology. A benefit is using nuclear technology as an alternative fuel source. Of course, nuclear technology can be used in nuclear power plants to power entire cities. In fact, the entire nation of France is based mainly on about 95% on nuclear power. This is very beneficial because nuclear power is extremely effective, opposed to coal and other fossil fuels such as that. Nuclear technology is about 97% effective, meaning that only about 3% of the energy created in nuclear power is actually lost in the process. So it is very effective and is very useful for powering entire countries, such as France. It is also a very good resource to use because it emits very low emissions into the environment. Everyone's trying to go green nowadays, and nuclear technology is a great way to do it. The emissions are extremely low, and they're very beneficial to the environment. So nuclear technology is very beneficial because it can power entire nations and keep the environment clean. Just look at the nation of France. However, nuclear technology can be extremely dangerous. Some harmful effects of nuclear technology can be nuclear waste being emitted into the environment and into the atmosphere. This can mainly happen in nuclear power plants when there are examples of meltdowns. Some of the examples in history of these meltdowns have been at Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, when nuclear reactors have malfunctioned and melted down completely. This has caused terrible problems and loss of life initially because the people working in the factory were exposed immediately to this nuclear radiation. However, long-term effects can be equally damaging. Nuclear radiation can be put into the soil and into the rest of the environment around the source of the nuclear radiation and can poison the land for years to come so that no people can actually use the land or even step close to it without risking getting nuclear radiation poisoning. So this is definitely a risk when using nuclear technology and definitely must be considered before people plan on using nuclear technology as the main source of their resources. Of course, with the increased technology with nuclear power, there comes the risk of weapons. Nuclear bombs and other missiles have been created in the past, only used twice by the United States in World War II on Japan, which caused terrible loss of life initially, but also the long-term effects were equally terrible. Radiation poisoning is still present in the regions of Japan where the nuclear bombs were dropped, which caused problems with the farmland. It absolutely destroyed the farmland so that people could not use the resources of the land. And it caused both radiation poisoning in the people at the blast sites and birth defects in their offspring and children. With these nuclear power technology advancements, dangerous nations such as North Korea and Iran are beginning to get nuclear technology and be able to make these nuclear power plants in their own country. They claim that they're only being used to power their nation, which is beneficial. However, the same sort of technology is used to create weapons. These weapons can pose very harmful effects, as seen in Japan in 1945. So, it is definitely a risk that a country could create all kinds of nuclear weapons to be used against other countries. In fact, the Soviet Union and the United States had a nuclear missile race, during the arms race during the Cold War. At this time, there were enough nuclear missiles where if they were all fired at the same time, the world would be completely destroyed. This would be very negative because the world would be destroyed. Thankfully, the arms race between the United States and Russia did not result in any nuclear missiles used. This is very good because the world could have been completely ended and obliterated. However, a new problem has arisen about whether or not what to do with all the leftover nuclear missiles. A stockpile of nuclear missiles that were unused has accumulated in Russia and other areas of the world, and now the problem is how to dispose of them safely for the environment. Just simply throwing them away would be very dangerous for the environment because it would result in nuclear radiation being left all over the world in locations, which would be very hazardous to the people inhabiting the area and also the wildlife inhabiting the area. So in conclusion, there are both benefits and negative effects of using nuclear technology. Of course, the benefits are being able to use them to power entire nations, so that we can use nuclear power as a safe alternative fuel source. When done correctly, this can be very beneficial as in the instance of France, where they use it to power almost their entire nation and really have no need for fossil fuels like coal and natural gas. This is going to be very useful when the natural gases eventually run out, when the fossil fuels eventually run out, excuse me. However, the negative effects of this are when put in dangerous hands, nuclear technology can develop weapons of mass destruction and can cause many, many lives lost. Also, if not used correctly, nuclear technology can result in many loss of lives in nuclear facilities such as 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl. That is all about nuclear technology. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Rocky, for that fantastic reporting. As always, us here at Tech Time care deeply about the public's opinion. But unfortunately, nobody called us, so we were forced to call you. Take a look. We now have Max Lamb on the line.
Max, answer the phone. Hello, Max. Welcome to Tech Time, ToK Time edition. So, we have a few questions for you. How do you feel about nuclear technology?
Nuclear technology, very interesting. Is this nuclear technology like weapons, or in general, just nuclear technology?
In general.
In general, okay, well, the thing with nuclear technology is that nuclear technology produces waste that is very detrimental to society. So, for like nuclear power, I would not be for nuclear power, as although it is efficient, it does produce waste that is harmful to us, and we have yet to find a way how to dispose of it. So I think we should go for cleaner fuels, or something like maybe nuclear weapons. I feel like nuclear weapons should not be used because, yes, they're a very effective way to killing people, but they kind of destroy the land and make it radioactive. So you kill all the people in this little city, but then you can't go to the city because it's radioactive. So what's the point?
That's very insightful, Max, and terrifying. But mostly...
Okay. Good.
Thank you for joining us. Next on the line is Chris Van Gert.
Cookie pool ball.
Hey Chris, welcome to Tech Time. Would you like to answer a couple questions on us on nuclear power?
Sure.
Okay, can you just in general describe to us how you feel? Do you feel if the negative effects of nuclear power are greater than the positives?
The negative effects of what?
Nuclear power. Do you think the negatives
Power?
outweigh the positives?
And what power?
Nuclear power, nuclear technology. Do you think...
I'd say that the positives outweigh the negatives.
Really? How so?
Yeah. Because nuclear, I mean, you can power more houses. Generally safe, for the most part.
Yeah.
If it's well regulated.
Uh-huh.
I think as technology progresses, it will get better, safer.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chris.
No problem.
See you tomorrow.